Hey, what's up guys? Houston here. Look, if you're trying to figure out, should I pay these collections, okay, to get them off of my credit report and how big of an impact it is, I'm going to tell you some things that's going to help you, and then you can take it from there, all right? Whether you're going to hire somebody to do it for you or you do it on your own, but I'm going to tell you what to do, and then you can decide if you want somebody to help you, all right? First thing is that there's only 3 reasons why you would want to even pay a collections, okay? 1, if you're in the process of buying something big, usually like getting a mortgage, okay? And so when you pay that collections, getting a mortgage, you actually can buy your credit score. What I mean by that, you can do a rapid score. A lot of mortgage companies, they offer that service. Once you pay off of collections, they would do a rapid score to show that it's been paid off, and so that doesn't affect you. All right, so that's number 1. Number 2, if they are agreeing to do a pay for delete, okay, if they're doing a pay for delete, then I would tell you to go for it, to pay it off. All right, so that's number 2. Number 3 is, in fact, if this is going to be to your advantage. All right, and so what I mean by that is that if you pay it off, well, here's how it's going to go, so you understand. You have your Vantage scores and you have your FICO scores, right? Now, here's the thing about it. You can challenge on a Vantage score, and it'll start reporting within 48 to 72 hours, and your Vantage score go up. However, your FICO score will not go up. All right, so you need to understand that. That's the reason a lot of people, when they look at Credit Karma and they see that their Credit Karma went up to 700, when you automatically dispute it. However, because that information has not went through the full process with FICO score, then what ends up happening, if you try to use a FICO score lender, then you more likely are going to get denied because your credit profile has not been properly corrected. Okay, but number 3 is that when you're paying it off, like I said, it's something that's small enough to, you know, that, okay, if I pay this off, I always tell people if it's less than $1,000, you may want to pay the man. And the reason is because that may be hindering you from getting tens of thousands of dollars. Okay, so those are probably the only 3 reasons. Now, in terms of fixing the credit, all right, if you decide, hey, well, I don't want to pay a collection company. Now, here's the thing about it. See, with collection companies, there's this thing. It's called extortion, all right? Now, here's the thing about it. If you get a letter in the mail, okay, that says, hey, you owe this debt. You're so-and-so, so-and-so, you owe this debt, right? So they have not properly identified themselves. So the first thing you should do before you even ask for a validation letter, the first thing you want to do is you want to send in a response. You want to do it through mail, and you want to do a cease and desist, okay? So the reason why, and I'm going to tell you the codes that you want to use for this, all right? The reason why you want to do the cease and desist is because once you do the cease and desist, that means that they cannot send you a letter in the mail. They cannot send you an email. They cannot send you a phone call, okay? They cannot make a phone call. Now, the reason you do not want them to validate the information first, you just want to do the cease and desist letter. The reason is because with most collection companies, and like I said, I worked in collections. Most collection companies, when they see that letter, they'll stop the printing of the letter. However, you'll go into a Rolodex and then they will call you. So that's your first legal violation, FDCPA legal violation against them. that they done broke because you told them do not contact you, period. All right. So now this sets ground for you actually to sue them. All right. Now, here's the statutes that I would tell you to use. Okay. This is statute 15 USC 1692 D as in Daryl. Then you want 1692 E as in Eric. And then you want 1692 F as in Frank. Okay. Those are the statutes you want in your letter. Okay. So you send that letter off. All right. It does ask for validation or whatever, but the main point about it is the cease and desist. All right. Because again, they don't know you from Adam. And here's the reason why. They sent a letter to your house, okay, saying that, hey, you owe this debt, right? However, in terms of you may have somebody else with the first and last name or the middle and last name, right? So they don't know who you are, right? So for them to say, hey, you owe this money without even properly identifying you, and they can't follow up with identifying you once you send out this 1692 letter. Okay, once you send that letter out, they cannot identify. All right. Now, the things that you want to challenge, if you go into collections or whatever, the things that you do want to challenge is the statute of limitations. Okay, this is another thing that a lot of people are not aware of. See, you have two statutes of limitations. All right. Then you have the national statutes of limitations, usually 7 years. Okay. But the state statutes of limitations. Now, why is the state statutes of limitations so important? The reason is because with the state statutes of limitations, that means after that time frame has expired, they cannot do anything legally against you. They cannot garnish your wages. They cannot summons you to court. They cannot do any of these things, right? So that's the reason why I tell you guys that when you are dealing with these people and they say, oh, I can fix your credit or whatever, you need to understand what statutes are they going to use. All right. Now, here's something else. You have to make sure that if you're going to be challenging collections on your credit, the first thing you need to do is reach out to LexisNexis ARS, as well as because CoreLogic is associated and SageStream is associated with LexisNexis now. And you need to freeze your credit report and remove all old addresses associated with that account they're trying to collect on. Okay. Number two is that they cannot just park an account on your credit file without actually properly identifying you. That's another thing that people are not aware of. They cannot just say, hey, this is your debt, and we put it on your file. Again, this is illegal. All right, because they did not properly identify you. When you responded, you told them do not contact you. Now, again, if they do not follow up with saying, well, we're going to be taking this to court or whatever, again, the collection company, more likely, they do not have right of assignment, so they cannot take you to court. Only the original creditor. But this is the trick with the original creditor, if they've already charged it off. By the way, doing a 1099-C for cancellation of debt, did they provide it? If it's over $600, did they provide you with that 1099-C? So requesting that 1099-C, this is also something that you can follow up with to say, hey, this account has been canceled by the creditor. Okay. So then at that point, the collection company cannot collect on that debt as well. It's illegal. So it actually, when they actually canceled the debt, it's actually legal for them to even sell the debt for profit because they wrote it off as a loss. So you can't have a loss and then make a profit on it as well. Now, another thing, again, I mentioned about extortion. Okay, them trying to force you to pay for something and they haven't properly identified you. So that extortion case law that you want to use is 18 USC 894. That's the extortion law that you want to use. And the reason you want to use that is because, again, they don't know you. They haven't identified you. So for them to park an account on your credit file without identifying you, now communicating with you, these are the backdoor secrets that a lot of collection companies, a lot of credit repair people are not aware of, about these backdoor things that can stop collection companies. All right, like I said, with most of the time, people would send a letter saying, I need you to validate this. Well, again, when they validate, what happens? They usually send you a letter, yeah, we verified. Well, what happens is you verified with the credit bureaus. You fought it with the credit bureaus. So with the credit bureaus, all they're doing is going to LexisNexis and their other third-party companies. And when they go to the other third-party companies, what are they looking for? They're just looking for a name match and an address, okay? So that's all they're going to be looking for. They're not looking in terms of the dollar amount, the last activity date. They're not looking for that stuff. They don't care about that stuff. They will tell you that's up to the creditor, right? So if whatever the creditor provides them, they just match it up with their system. That's the reason I said it's important to remove those outdated addresses and stuff. Because if you've moved, like I had a couple clients that moved out of state from where the debt was actually created, right? So since they moved out of state, then again, because that debt is in another state, they cannot identify it. They cannot say this person is liable for this debt. How do you know? This is a different address, right? And again, you use the cease and desist letter, so they can't say, hey, this is so-and-so, don't so-and-so. And again, depends on how old the account is, the statutes of limitations may have changed. So, and if they even try to say, well, we're going to sue you, and if they create a financial burden for you to go to an out-of-district court, another thing that you also want to ask them, please provide me with your debt collection license number for this state. That's a key thing, all right? Because if they cannot provide you with the debt collection license number for that state, then they do not have right to even collect on that debt as well, okay? And so again, this will fall back under extortion. So that's the reason why I tell you guys, we do not do credit repair. We do an analysis of your credit and tell you what to do to help yourself. We may even go as far as writing the letters for you on your behalf and giving you that letter, and then you sending those letters out. But we do not do credit repair, okay? So if you have any other questions about business credit funding, personal credit funding, removing negative items off the credit, click the link in the description. Schedule a one-on-one consultation. Thank you.